Hi, and welcome to Fire Radio. I'm hosting tonight because everyone else is hungover or ill or some other shitty excuse. Shall we go straight into it? Let's start with Bash to Epsilon, because we talked about that 5 seconds ago and I can remember that far back. Bash has joined Epsilon as backup. It's not full-time or anything. He's just going to be there for the couple of weeks when they practice before I-46 if they need him. That's basically it. Any thoughts on this matter?
I had a suspicion that maybe they were going to have problems for the final, so they were trying to swindle him onto the roster, misunderstanding how it actually works, and like the rosters were locked and whatnot. I don't know if that was actually true, but I kind of assumed that was what it was because he joined like the day before the final, like conveniently like 24 hours to like skip the the verification period. But I don't know if that's actually the case, but that's kind of what I assumed it was. So they just misunderstood the rules. Since I don't really know why they would need someone on the TF2 roster, because as far as I know, they're never going to play TF2 again because they're confirmed to fold after I-46.
I've heard rumours of a new Epsilon lineup. Just putting that out there. I've heard rumours of a new one. So
isn't that kind of what we're here to do? Like, give rumours and shit, and you're like,
yeah.
I
just remembered. I
there was
remembered.
a platform to put this rumor out.
I kind of got told
we
not
had
to
a
say anything
platform.
about it, guys.
Well, don't bring it up. If you brought it up, tell us all.
So yeah. So it's an interesting one though.
Interesting isn't names. Give me names.
The players that you expect who will probably leave, and then they'll try and rebuild a roster around the rest of them. That's what I've heard. So whether they actually do or not, who can say? But if they do, that'd be awesome for TF2. So or European TF2 anyway. That's all I know. Who will leave? Well, let's think. Nox doesn't really like playing anymore. F2 is not been here for age. If he's been playing for so long, he's probably going to leave. But whether that means Nox will then go play medic, you don't know. Stefan will probably play, but he's still thinking about Shoot Mania, so I don't know. There's a lot of things up in the air, but it's pretty well. Extremer, is that confirmed leaving Extremer? Is that what you're trying to say?
Extremer's only come back for Land Glory, as far as I understand.
Yeah, so
did it for the cash.
But yeah, I don't really know much more than that, so that's all I can say. I'm afraid, guys. But little rumor flying around. Some of the good players might see a little PM from Slick going, "Oh, do you wanna join the new Epsilon?" So
I've already had 3. Yeah.
Oh, have you? I see.
Yeah, man. They want me as demo.
Up and coming player, mate.
Up and coming player of the season, right here. Let's move on. Let's go. Okay, this is like a 2-part thing. The simple part of the story is Mike has joined quarantine for Nutson because Nutson's, he's had activity problems all season with work, and he plays Tribes main as his main game now. So they finally replaced him, and obvious upgrade is kind of obvious. But the flip side of this is Mike getting kicked / leaving the Infused roster. Here's how I understand what happened. It was in a game. Mike killed the medic on a mid. They went talking after the mid fight, did anyone kill the medic? Did anyone kill the medic? Blah blah blah. And then Mike was like, I fucking said I killed the medic, and then just left Mumble, went offline on Steam, detagged, and removed all from friends. Removed from friends might be made
I think to add on to that, I think they made a play where they assumed that he didn't die, and they played in accordance with that. So they played like pussies, and then Mike's like, "What the fuck are you doing? I called this." Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it wasn't just that they it wasn't just like a little discussion. They also they played with that assumption in mind.
Yeah, I think it was like Gully Wash, and they were last with the heavy and stuff like that set up, and Mike's just like, "What the fuck are you doing? Let's get out of there," sort of thing. From what I understand, they were not been playing well for a couple of days, and Mike was getting frustrated.
A lot longer than that.
Go on.
From what Mike told me, basically he's been really the last couple of months he's been really unhappy with Seb's calling style. He's just felt like he's got more and more tunnel vision and unaware of everything around him, and he's just got so fed up of it. And then this was just the breaking point, if you know what I mean. If you're fed up of someone's awareness, and then you've killed the medic and no one's noticed, and he's not noticed, your main caller's not noticed, it just was one tip to over the edge.
Yeah, plus I think they were losing to Team Germany, who probably from their point of view they wanted to beat, and thought they probably could just beat and they didn't. And I think they were a couple of rounds down, and that happened. And then Mike just literally rage quit. And from the point of view of the team he's playing with, like if he's not said anything about what's going on, and he just rage quits in the middle of it, like you're like, what the fuck? He's fucked you over the whole night, like your PCWs wise. So, yeah, the team pretty much called him on it and said you got to apologise if you want to play with us still, and he didn't. So I think that's pretty much where it went from there, and I think that's the side of the story that both parties are giving. So I think that's pretty much what's happened.
The question is he just a fucking baby, or did he not want to play with them anymore?
Well, I think if he didn't want to play with him anymore, he's a baby for not just telling him he doesn't want to play anymore and doing it in this way. Like,
yeah, I guess
he's a baby. Either way. It's just what reason he's a baby for. But like, if he was unhappy for that long, I guess he should have just been like. Apparently, he talked to Seb about it, but Seb didn't really take it on board. Drama.
Yeah, indeed. But that means that now Mike's short in quarantine, which, from the point of view of their team, like Mike's still a really good soldier and an upgrade from Knutson, I'd say. And then, so it's a pretty good upgrade from their team, especially when Knutson can't play a lot of the time.
I was about to say, it's an upgrade that Mike's just there at game time.
Yeah. So, and going towards I-46, like that's like really, really good for their team going into it, and like they'll just develop together. Got 5 weeks I think till I-46 now, something like that. And they'll just develop as time goes along, and that sort of move will probably make them stronger at I-46. But yeah, from Infused point of view, they now lost Mike before like the most crucial game they had in the season. They weren't allowed to delay it by the TF2 admins.
But yeah, that was kind of the funniest thing that happened. Like, what was it? A couple of days before the ETF World Grand Final.
It was the day of.
Was it the day of?
Well, he rage quit the day before.
Oh, but obviously the consequences. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, so also on the flip side of that, Infused needed a new soldier, so they picked up Darn, and along with Darn came the legendary Bibbin. Darn and Bibbin obviously good friends and both lannable. Bring him into the team, so it's now looking a lot more Scandi.
Somewhere along the lines, Joey, so you got cut, but no one really cares.
Yeah, I think I was about to say, I think we should probably talk about that.
Didn't see that one coming.
Was it Joe saying to someone mentioning that he's not enjoying playing the game, and like it seems from like the Infused point of view, they went, "Oh, he doesn't enjoy it. We can slyly cut him." And then they talked to him about it, and Joe, being Joe, goes, "Oh, I'm not that bothered about what's going on." So they cut him. But if he had said, "Oh, I want to play," I'm sure they would have kept him. And like I think Darn kind of twisted their arm in it. Like Darn pretty much said, "I'm only playing if Bibbin comes," from what I gather. So
I thought
it's a bit of a dickish move.
I thought, from what I heard, Bibbin said, "I'll only join if you get Darn," because I heard there were rumours of Hazard maybe joining as well.
No, it was definitely the other way around. Definitely Darn saying to Bibbin, "Oh, go bring Bibbin in," and the Hazard thing was kind of them just like panicking, who can we get in? And they like had a list of what criteria they wanted to fill, and pretty much the top of the list is obviously a Roma. Meanwhile, Hazard's normally a pocket. And one of either Hat or Hazard had to change if they did that, and Hat doesn't want to play Roma, and I don't think Hazard does either. So the best, works out so much better for them if they get Darn. Right? And he's done a lot for the team, but he's also added some really weird things. Like, what was it? They've been trying a training strategy where none of them were in the same channel as each other. They had 2 people in one channel room, 2 people in another, and 2 people in another. So that like when they get to middle, they're communicating with the people that they want to work with. But meanwhile, the rest of the team have fuck all clue what's going on. And they just got destroyed while trying to do it. So I wouldn't suggest doing that strategy, guys, to train.
Yeah, we played them while they were doing it, and I think Hat said to me it lasted about 10 minutes. They lost like 4 rounds in 10 minutes, and they were like, "Okay, lads, fuck this. This is fucking stupid."
I think this is like the time Pognon said, because our comms were so confusing, he's going to mute everyone else except for me for our PCW. And I was like, Pognon, this is a retarded idea, because you can't just listen to me, because then you're relying on me being right every time and telling you everything. And that also flatters. It's just a stupid idea.
Like it maybe could have worked if they at least had like Numlock with a shout bind, so he could have at least called like what to do at mid or like when to push a choke or something. Because it's literally like they didn't even have the most basic like team comms going on.
It's what they need is like when like scout partners have like a whisper button to each other so they can do scout comms to each other. Like they need something maybe a bit more like that, like set up whisper keys with people rather than just not being able to hear half their team.
Yeah, Byte said something which I thought may have been like partly true. I know that's crazy, Byte talking sense, but he said that maybe it had something to do with the fact that they're so like they're in this rut when Numlock is basically dictating everyone and just like doing everything his own way, and everyone just has to follow like blindly regardless of what's going on. And so Byte suggested maybe it was because like to break them out of that and make people think for themselves and things like that, which kind of made sense. But obviously
That's what they were trying to do with it. But
yeah, like the cons vastly outweighed the pros of it.
So yeah, but yeah, well, we've kind of like moved away from that Joey C discussion, but I think that was pretty funny when I saw that. But yeah, so Joe's obviously gone, which is a shame. But I think Infused are offering him a LAN ticket still, so I think he's still like got a chance of going to the event if he wants.
I need to scout for LAN. I'm gonna PM Joey C. Oh, joke.
Well, so I think he's getting a hotel room, but that means that we're going to have the legendary Dan and Bibbin at the event, which is going to be awesome. Whether they're actually getting funding off Infused, I don't know, because I know some. Yeah, well, I know how some Infused work, and Andy anyway, that he'll probably not pay for them, but I don't know what's going on at all. So,
well, I presume he'll still pay like what he was willing to pay for the others. If you know what I mean, like hotel and if he was willing to pay whatever. But
yeah, well,
as
he'll get the hotel and the ticket.
I understand, like Dan and Bibbin were considering coming anyway with like a Finnish mixed team, like so they were ready.
Oh, okay.
They were ready to come. They were just.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame that we lose the Finnish mixed team then, really. Am I lagging?
No, you sound good, man. You sound good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, well.
Right. Do you want to move on to the next topic anyways, Abby?
Oh, apparently they're getting full support, Seb tells me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Breaking the banks.
Woo! Next topic is I-40. Is this the online qualifiers for which American team receives XTV's funding for to come to I-46? And it's just a complete shambles. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Someone start.
Well, it's going on at the moment. Like, literally, they're playing at they're on the server, I think, about to go live at the moment. So basically, it started off as there was going to be 4 teams, but then Mix-Up and Mihai's Flow merged into one team. So they ended up with a difficult situation where they had to do this tournament with only 3 teams. So they came up with the most ridiculous format anyone could possibly think of. None of the teams understood it. The whole event was being orchestrated by the biggest retard video gaming has ever experienced in the form of Dr. Shadow Puppet. So the second game was Seriously Bro with about 3 mercs against LG. None of them had a fucking clue what was going on. And it basically eventuated in 2 heavies and a crit bat scout pushing last. And the entire thing is so far a complete utter fucking catastrophe.
Yeah, the most important thing is there's no advertisement for this tournament whatsoever. What the fuck is the point in even holding it if you're not going to advertise it? Like, honest to God, the whole point of it is they want to get more money for this LAN event. But at the moment, they've not advertised it anywhere. It was delayed by like an hour. They needed the VTV guys to set up a relay without even asking them. They didn't have any casters set up whatsoever. They asked me last night when I got in at like 6 a.m. from a night out, and it's just like a complete shambles. And they've got Griever, Sigma, and Yuki casting now, I think. And it's like, put it this way: if I was watching what was going on, I wouldn't donate, because it's just a shambles.
From a third-party perspective, it's embarrassing.
Like, it really makes no sense because they advertised it to America, but they specifically set it up so it would happen at a time where Euros could watch it, but they made absolutely no effort to advertise it to the Euro community. I mean, it kind of got spread about through word of mouth, but like, it's not vanilla.
The problem with it being spread out by word of mouth is the only people watching are like,
oh yeah, it's garbage.
The same community. Like, half the people watching are probably already donated. Like, have already just like
garbage.
Yeah. It's not going to generate any new funds, any new viewers, any new people who want to like donate.
Yeah, and like it just, the way it's been set up is just so retarded. And like, for those of you that haven't seen what's going on, basically the rule system that we've kind of like hinted at of what they're doing is it's not like a simple one team plays another, one team plays another. Let's then seed them and then go into groups, or just a standard singular limb or a double limb. It's nothing like that. It's like, everybody plays each other on the map. So on Snakewater, every team will play each other, and the team that wins twice on that map gets the map win, so they get classes of victory. So they have to win both their games on that map, and they get a map win, and then they have to win 2 maps overall. So they have to do that again on the second map to be able to then be classed as winning and actually go through as the top, the team to go to I-Series. But like, it's such a convoluted way to do this that like anybody that hasn't read up on it or knows what's going on, it just won't understand what the fuck is on about it. Especially when you're trying to get people that don't watch TF2 to come and watch this. Like, how is some random public player really going to understand what's going on when it's hard enough anyway?
It's just going to look like 2 random teams playing each other. And the fact that it's been organised so that Bro are having to play without Messer, their medic, and without Blaze, who is their best player and their main caller. So they're basically, they don't give a shit. You can't be, when they were like the underdogs to begin with, and they're now missing their best player and main caller, and their medic. So they know they can't win. So all the games with Bro in are basically just dicking about for half an hour.
That's like the biggest joke about the whole thing, is it could have been so simple, like LG versus Mix-Up, best of 3, best of 5, whatever you want, like very simple, very interesting games. But instead, Bro have just showed up with like a complete joke of a roster. And it's not even they should have a joke of a roster. They're just completely unwilling to play like properly. They're asking like on the game chat like, oh, when can we leave? Is it over yet? Can we leave? Blah 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 blah.
Can we just do a golden cap?
If you didn't want to play, just fucking don't play, and everyone else could enjoy it like 10 times more. I don't really understand why they seemingly didn't want to be there, and I don't think anyone really wants them to be there after this.
Well, it's like kind of they've had like their opportunity taken away because they have to play on a day without their players, so they've kind of been screwed over by it as well. Where do you think, like, when you only have to organise 3 teams, it would be easy-ish to find a day they can all play?
There's so many things wrong with it. Because I mean, yeah, that's true, but like they didn't advertise it to the Europeans anyway, so they might as well have just played it at the middle of the fucking night, like normal.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man. Dr. Shadow Puppet, biggest retard I've ever witnessed in video gaming so far.
Unlucky Tarkus, you'll win something tonight, don't worry.
So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But having said all that, guys, please do go watch it. Like, it's still some decent TF2 when Mixed Up are playing LG. Like, and they're actually playing now, so that game will be is live at the moment. So once this is over, we'll head over there and watch it.
If you want,
like,
if you want to catch up, the winner of the current game, if LG beat, if Mix Up beat LG, then Mix Up will be coming to LAN for sure, and LG will be taking the number 2 spot. But if LG win the current map against Mix-Up, then there'll have to be a tiebreaker map between the 2 teams. Because as far as I know, Seriously Bro have actually just bowed out now. Like 3 hours later, they've said, "Okay, lads, let's just leave it." So it is literally just LG.
The first game they wanted to bow out anyway. I think the XCV guys were not letting them bow out, from what I gather.
What leverage do they have to stop them? If you don't do it, we're not going to give you money to the land you don't want to go to.
No, you're not going to you're not going to qualify for anyway.
I don't know, fuck it. It's absolutely, completely and utterly retarded.
Yeah, but yeah, do definitely watch it, guys. So pretty much this game is make or break for LG. What?
Yeah, I was going to say, just after all night, yeah, the TF2 itself is actually good when the proper teams play.
Yeah. Yeah, so do check that out after this. She might as well move on to the next topic anyway, Zabby, which I think is the awards. So if you want to roll with it.
Right, okay. So basically, I've been working my arse off. So much work went into it. Maybe not. But anyway,
could have had so much work go into it.
I'm a hard-working guy. Basically, we got an elite panel of 1 player from each Prem team, plus us guys, us 3 VTV staff, and an ETF2 admin, because why not? And they've been given a list of awards and a list of criteria, and have made nominations for each award. And these nominations have been carefully tallied by our maths expert, me.
Brilliant.
And the top 3, like the top 3 players with most nominations, will be entered into a public vote, and that will be on ETF12 shortly. Shortly, Skyride. I said shortly, so make it happen.
I think it's going to be up tomorrow, because I think I have to do it, and as it stands, I've not done anything. So, yeah, tomorrow the vote will go live, but let's keep going, Zavi.
Right, so should we just go into it? We're going to talk a bit about each award. Let's start with the classic awards, as they were. Let's start with Scout. Who would you pick for Scout, Greg?
Just my pick or my nomination?
Any. Who deserves to be in the top 3? Who deserves to win?
Well, it's kind of obvious that there's a top 2. Like I think everyone's gonna know that from now, and I think everybody will echo it. You guys will echo this, and it's Cookie and Stefan. Like there is literally those two at the top, and then a gap. And like the third choice was a little bit more tough decision from my point of view. I picked Himsy. I think he was probably the next, definitely next best. But yeah, the top two, it's easily Cookie and Stefan. And had such a good season, and I actually would say if I was going to pick, I would pick Cookie. I think he's had a better season than Stefan has, and he's just been carrying the shit out of Infused during the actual season. Obviously, they didn't get through to the final, but
carrying to third.
Yeah. Cadus, what do you think?
I completely agreed. Only I didn't nominate Himsy because obviously I can't nominate teammates. I don't think I actually bothered to nominate a third scout because some people are saying Walters, but did you see his season or did you just watch the final? Like, he was awful for the majority of the season.
Like I actually put him as like my overrated player of the season because he played awfully until the final.
He had a really good. I'm not going to take the final away from him, but it's player of the season. Like, and that's kind of how I judged it. Like, it's kind of like who would you pick if you wanted someone on your team? Who would you take? Based on what was season, I wouldn't take him. So I literally just went Stefan Cookie and gave no third.
Okay. Yeah, I did the same as Cadus. I gave no third because I didn't think it was like there was no one else who's on the same level as Stefan and Cookie who could be like, yeah, like it would just be like a token vote. But I always want to point out, like, everyone who could voted for Stefan. Like, no one did not vote for Stefan, and there were like 2 people who didn't vote for Cookie out of the people possible.
Can you identify who didn't vote for Cookie?
Not quick, maybe. Not quickly, actually. Not quickly.
Okay, shoot. So, in fact, we might talk about that later. In fact, what we're going to say, Xavi's actually going to post how many nominations everybody got later on tonight, I think, on Vanilla, or tomorrow on Vanilla. So you'll be able to see if you got any nominations at all from the 15 guys that nominated, or 15 panelists even. But we might as well announce who the top 3 are that you can vote for, Xavi.
The top 3, surprisingly enough, Stefan, Cookie, and Walters. Walters by 1 vote above Himsy.
Okay. Yeah, well, like as I said, I think Himsy had a far better time of it than Walters. So maybe if you had actually voted for a third person there, we would have had Himsy in there instead, Zappy.
So we're blaming me for this. I see how it is. Sorry, Himsy, bro. I don't like voting for Himsy because it seems to justify the 30 for 30 KD playstyle. Anyway. Let's move on. Let's go to Soldier. Let's start with...
Quickly before this, I want to interject. There are a few of the nominations where the third place is tied with a couple of votes. So what we're actually going to do is get you guys in the Pirate Radio IRC channel, so #Pirate Radio, to vote for who you think deserves to be that number 3 spot out of the 2. So I think Demoman and I think Soldier have them tied. Is that right?
Soldier, there was one other. I know what you mean. It was Prem Debut has a tied 3rd.
Yeah, so we'll let you guys decide who's going to be the 3rd person in the voting category. Skyraid has like some sort of bot that I don't know how it works, but he's got it ready, I think. Fingers crossed, touch wood. So no, it's not ready apparently. So okay, well let's
stall.
2 minutes. Okay, yeah, we can talk about Soldier for 2 minutes. Go, Xavi, why don't you talk about Soldier first?
Okay, I'll start. I voted for. Let's see if I can remember this now. I voted for Matnan, Fisco, and Tech on the basis that Matnan is just the best soldier in Europe, in my opinion. He gets the most work done. He kills everything. He's just the best, even if his team finished 5th. And he did so much to carry them. He was kind of dragged down by some of his teammates. Flisco, massively underrated, had a 6th season. He played like the opening 5 games, did a lot of great work, really helped Infused off to a good start. And Tech just hits everything. He's a beast, an awesome guy. And I don't think anyone else, like the normal standard sort of people who you would nominate, like the Gear, the Mike, they had a crap season, they didn't get anything done. So I don't see how any of them can be up there. And I obviously want Matnan to win it because he's far better than the others, even in that top 3.
Okay, I'll go and do mine now. I put Matnan in there. Obviously, he's such a solid soldier. Like I probably put him in, my best 6 in Europe at the moment, I'd say. like there are some other pockets that you might be thinking about, the likes of Hox, or Hox maybe Hat, but Hat's not really played Infused long enough for me to like warrant voting them. But like the main thing, if you're looking at Hox, I just feel that he gets so many heals and does nothing. Like, not when I say nothing, it's not like he does absolutely nothing, but like he gets so much attention from the heals, he should do more with it than what he does. And like, if Cadus got more heals and it was a little bit more balanced for that team, then I would probably give Hox more, more accreditation in that team. But he doesn't do enough in my books to warrant being put in the top three. I then voted Flisco. Flisco had an awesome season when he was playing, like absolutely sick. His best, like while he's been playing for Infused, and like they fell apart when he left. Like they were so much better when he was there. And fair enough, Hat's a good soldier, but Flisco has been in that team for so long, and his aroma that is really, really good, and just does so much for them. So, yeah, I do think Flisco. And honestly, if I'm going to give him my top, I'd probably vote Flisco myself. But then I played with him, and so I'm a little bit biased when it comes to that. The same probably with Cookie. So, and then my third, I actually went for Captain Hacks rather than for Tech. Like I didn't really whenever I watch Punchline play, I watched a few of their season games rather than like the later ones, the earlier season games. And like Captain Hacks was the one that always stood out to me rather than Tech. But other people have said Tech has done so well, so I guess it's a toss up between the two. But like, that's just my opinion. Cadus, what do you think?
I think I literally just went for Matanon. Same principle as before with the scouts. I mean, people like Tech and those guys that had good seasons, but I think it was good respectively to kind of what I expected of them, rather than being standout like amazing like Matanon is or was or is. But yeah, like none of the old guard really stood out this season. I'm not sure, like in the case of Epsilon, like with Gear, I'm not sure if whether it's just because he kind of gets swallowed up by the vast pool of talent that he's obviously in, or whether he had an underwhelming season. Like Mike, I thought had a horrendous season by his standards, like really bad by his standards. Like not bad, like by anyone else's standards it would probably been right, but by his standards it was like ugh.
So underwhelming.
Yeah, so I think I literally just went for Man, and like I kind of forgot about Flisco because obviously the season went on and he did not. So I think I literally kind of skirted over him. But he's probably worth a mention. I'll agree with that. But I just went for Matanon all the way. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Also, one more thing I want to bring up is it was mentioned, like a few people mentioned it, about doing a Pocket of the Season and Roams of the Season award. But just to say, like, why we didn't do that, I don't think the boundaries in EU are clear enough to find the majority of teams, and I don't know. I think it's just splitting hairs between soldiers.
Do you want to do few good soldiers? It would have been even more tragic.
Do you want to do a quick one, like ad hoc now? Who you think your like the best roamer is? Who you think the best pocket is?
The answer is Matanon on both, because he's.
I was going to say that.
It's Matanon. Like, we would just be giving Matanon more awards, which I'm okay for. To be honest, we can just you just ship out, just keep printing them out, give Matanon some more awards.
I see Zebasay being mentioned. I probably might have put Zebasay down, but I was obviously not in a position where I could because he's on my team. But being brutally honest, he had a kind of a mixed bag of a season. Like he warmed to the season, I'd say, and by the end he was definitely up there. But if you look at the season as a collective, at the start he was kind of like slow to get going.
Yeah, at the business end of the season in the playoffs, he was outstanding. I'd say like he needed to step up, and he did basically. But during the actual season, I didn't really see anything out of him, is what I felt. And I can't just give an award based on the playoffs, even if the playoffs are like the most crucial part of the season. It's not the length of it. It's not the main part in general. So yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's why I didn't put Zebasai there personally. So I think some other people did vote for Zebasai. So Zavi, do you want to give us the top four then, and then so 3 and 4 will be voted for using this weird Adam bot, which you have to PM.
This is a demo. Soldiers clear cut.
You don't have to
Soldiers
PM
clear
it.
cut, is it?
Yes. Okay. In fourth place and missing out on the vote was Flisco. Third place was Hox, so he'll be in the votes. Second place was Zebasai, and Matanon was a clear top. So it'll be Matanon, Zebasai, and Hox will be your candidates.
Okay, interesting. To both of the soldiers from TCM being there, and none from Epsilon or Infused. That's really, really interesting. So, and Tech not there, Captain Hack's not there. So maybe more people go in the line of Cadus's thought, where while they had decent seasons, it was nowhere near the height of Matanon, Hox, and Zebo. Yeah. Do you want to go on the next?
Now we go on to demo, which is where we will need in this vote thing. Okay, let's just talk about demo first. I think I went for Cadus, Numlocked, and Retshock. Like, I think Retshock's for best, but I always find it, like, I've been finding it so hard to give Crack Clan awards when they finished 5th, because they weren't even in the playoffs at all. It's sort of, like, yeah, you had a really good season, except for that bit where you didn't get to the playoffs. Other than that, it was great. But yeah, and then obviously, I think Cadus has had a better finish than Numlocked, but Numlocked had a better start, so it's a bit 6 of one, half dozen of another on who to vote for there. I don't know. I can't really split them. They're all as good as each other. They've had to pick one. I'd pick Retshock because he's the boss. Cadus, what do you think as the resident Demoman expert?
I put Numlocked and Retshock down. Like, it was pretty clear cut from my perspective. Extrema was good, again, considering that he came back from a long break and had to slot into the team mid-season. But this isn't the how good are you at sliding back into a team mid-season award. I don't really think he was up there, like, with the, like, individual performance-wise. I don't think he was up there with Numlocked and Retshock this season. I think it was pretty clear for me that it was Numlocked and Retshock.
Yeah, I voted those. Yeah, Cadus, Numlocked, Retshock. The one thing that really like shines in the differences is obviously the playstyles are slightly different. Like, you know, Numlocked to Cadus is a really different playstyle, and the main thing that would like make me vote for Cadus above Numlocked is because Seb gets like all the heals in his team. Like, you know, he's always 260 and does what he does from there, which is good. You know, it's still fine. He rules the team from there. But meanwhile, Cadus is getting far less of the heals and still dealing the same sort of damage numbers as Numlocked is, and it helps his team so much more doing that. Plus, like from Cadus' point of view, I don't think he's had a season he was this good in since he won the last. I think it was the AFS when you won the last your last award, Cadus. Is that right? Did you win Demoman of the season then?
I don't think it was AFS. It was the one where everyone boycotted it because it was like retarded ESL. I think it was season 10 exclamation mark, maybe season 9. I can't remember. White lost us all. That's what I recall.
That prestigious award.
Yeah. So well, let's try and sort out who's this third vote, guys. So basically, I think we need you to type in chat whether you think Extrema or Retshock should be in the vote. So there you go. If you want Retshock, type exclamation mark vote 1. If you want Numlocked, type exclamation mark.
Wait. Stop.
Why is it fucking retarded?
Yeah. Who put Dr. Shadow Puppet in charge of our vote?
I'm reading what Skyred fucking wrote in there. Yeah, it's Retshock and Extrema, Adam.
Stop the vote. Clear the counters. Right, just to clarify, Cadus finished top with 13 nominations. Numlocked finished second with 12. Tied in third is Extrema and Retshock, and they will be the ones you have to choose from.
Okay, so hopefully we'll reset this vote. I think. I don't know what Adam's doing.
I think Adam, are you going to reset it, Adam? Give us an answer. Or are we just pretending number 2? No, we're going to have to reset it because loads of people would have voted thinking it was for Numlocked.
No, loads of people would have read what you said and
Stop fucking voting. It's just making us
more maybe we should have trial run this before we dived in.
We came up with it about 5 minutes before we went live. So
I was just going to put them both in the vote. It's your idea.
Maybe move on and come back to this, or
yeah, okay, we're gonna.
Oh no, it's reset.
It's reset. Okay.
So vote 1 is Retshock and vote 2 is Extrema, I think. There. So vote 1 Retshock, vote 2 Extrema. So yes, it definitely is. There you go. I got it right. So there you go, guys. Vote 1 if you want Retshock, vote 2 if you want Extrema, and that looks like a few more Retshocks to me.
I'm voting.
When are we calling it? By the way,
I don't know. I'm just gonna let's go in.
Let's do 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, guys.
Let me know when Retshock's winning, and then we'll cut it. This isn't biased at all.
Last chance, guys. Get your votes in now. Retshock votes for Extrema.
If you lose by 1 vote now, Retshock.
Okay, cut it out, Adam. Cut it, and let's see what the scores are.
Shout out to Ty for not getting a single nomination in any of the categories in this season.
I played in this season.
Yeah, man. When GDK wasn't there, he was second choice.
I was going to say, GDK played like one game and Ty played the other two, and GDK got more nominations than Ty did.
GDK is a hero, and...
Right, so hopefully Adam will be able to give us a result. Oh, he has to count them by hand, I think.
What sort of bot
Oh
is
God.
this? Does it just print out receipts at you?
That's not far off what it actually does. Hang on, can it?
Okay, should we move on and come back to this? Let's move it forward.
Okay, so Ret Shock has 22 votes and Extremer has 8.
There you go, guys.
Smash.
Landslide.
Well played, Red Shock. GG was closet.
So that means that it's going to be Ret Shock, Numlocked, and Cadus in your votes, guys. So yeah, that obviously be up tomorrow with everything else. Let's go on to the next.
We want a medic to get F2 to stop whining. Jesus Christ.
This is what F2's here for. Right. Basically, for me, medic of the season, it was F2 and Roy's, and I did pick a third. I voted for Taimu because I like Taimu, and I think he's really underrated, and people get too distracted by his retarded personality and drunkenness to notice he's actually quite good. Anyone else? Medic opinions? I think it was pretty unanimous that Roy's and F2 were just in a league of their own this season.
He didn't. Just to clarify, Royce played one game as medic, right? Or did he play a few at the start of the season?
He played 3 games and the final as medic.
Okay. Yeah, I think I only voted for F2, but yeah, only because Roy's played so few games. But I think for F2 and Roy's, like, realistically.
Yeah, I voted for F2 and Roy's. I think I put a third one. I think I put K3 in there as well, just because I could, sort of thing, and I couldn't think of anybody else.
Living on the edge, Ricky boy.
Wow. So yeah, like F2 is obviously, F2 and Roy's head and shoulders above. Like, I found it really hard just to vote for F2, like, in a nominations like this, because, like, Roy's is as good medic as him, really, in my point of view. And, like, he did play a few games, and, like, Roy's is such a good medic, I had to vote for him, and I just, like, filled the
We're
spots.
desperate. There can't only be one good medic in the entire fucking continent, for the love of Jesus.
We have to impress the Americans. Come on.
Hey, if Kynella or the Jackal had played a game, they would have been in my vote straight away.
Didn't Jackal play? Oh, no, that was a cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He played, like, that one map of that one cup.
Well, we could vote for Ben Crazy as well.
Oh, yeah, we could have voted for Ben Crazy. What a pick
We
that
wouldn't, but...
It's nice to have options, isn't it? Like, who would we... There has to be a third. Who would be your third if you had to scrape the barrel of everyone else? I'd obviously go for Taimu.
Oh, I think I voted for Crit tonight rather than K3. I think. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Just because he's a funny guy. That's where my decision went.
It's important to be comical when playing medic.
Yeah. You need it, don't you?
Haters, please bring some logic back to this third place.
F2 all the way. Woohoo!
F2 and then F2 again. Okay.
Also, I can see a few people kind of whining about the things we're saying. I'd just like to remind you that we make up a very small minority of the overall nominations. So if you don't like the end results, don't blame us. Bye.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I just
We are
want to
only fifth, I think, of the whole nomination.
Yeah.
we can't do shit. And, like, Cadus can't even vote for his own team, so it's not like he could, like, sneak bite in there or
I
something.
don't think I voted for anyone infused apart from Cookie. And I can't vote for my own team, so...
One of our
Excellent.
awards a bit later on kind of highlights that, doesn't it? Which one is it? Oh yeah, Overrated. That kind of highlights that, I think.
That was
So-
quite funny. Overrated was quite a funny category.
Hmm.
We'll get to that later. Okay, let's do the big reveal on Medic. Right, F2 was first by a mile. Like, no, everyone who could vote for F2 did vote for F2. The only person who didn't was the Epsilon player, who obviously isn't allowed. Roy is second on 9, and Bite made for third place. He made the cut, narrowly beaten Dunk by 2. And also, out of all the medics, everyone got at least one nomination except for Skeege and Pole.
Oh.
In your faces.
You didn't get us.
Aw.
No,
Everyone
I
medic
don't.
extraordinaire.
Yeah, let's move on to the next nomination then, or next category.
Mighty player of the season, where everyone only got one nomination. So my player of the season was Cookie, because he wrecked it and he carried his team hard to a mighty third place. Yeah, whatever. But he was still better than everyone else, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Cadus?
Oh, go on, Cadus, you go for it.
Shut up, Greg.
I think I went with Cookie, but this was actually like one of the only ones where I had like difficulty like whittling it down, if you know what I mean.
You did.
I mean, I could easily have given it to like F2 or Stefan or so many people, but I think I just went with Cookie just because of he literally stood out so much this season. Maybe he wasn't necessarily that much better, but he stood out kind of, if you know what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because I went for the same vote as well from pretty much the same reasons. Like, you know, you sit there and agonize over a few different players, and I'm a little bit biased, so I had to go with Cookie. So that's pretty much what happened there, and all three of us go for Cookie. So, might as well just point out everybody that got a vote here or a nomination here, because there's only 5 people. Basically, for the player of the season, the people that nominated only got 1 nomination for this one rather than 3, just to make it slightly more compacted and, you know,
a bit more elite.
Yeah, exactly. So we only got 5 nominations. Bite got 1, Zebasai got 2.
Bite was a troll. Can I just point out? Bite was definitely a troll. It was a troll. Like,
was that from DJC by any chance?
No, it wasn't from. I'm not going to reveal. I'm not allowed to reveal. I'm identity. But he typed Roffle in brackets after the vote and before. He's told me personally Bite's the easiest medic to kill in Prem. And then he also told me it was a troll, like when we were talking afterwards. So I'm fairly sure it's a troll.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, the actual top 3 now.
Go for it.
Go on. In Cookie and Stefan made it fairly unsurprisingly. And Pirate Radio superstar Cadus made 3rd place. Getting in there. Upsetting the scout dominance. I can speak words so well.
Almost like Zebasai earlier.
Isaiah 50.
Right. So that'll be the player of the season, guys. That'll be up as well. Everything up on Monday on the TF2 website, so everyone can get a vote. We considered putting them on the vanilla, but it's like a little bit more of like a smaller community, so we wanted everybody to get the opportunity to vote, even if it means some retards that have no idea what's going on are going to vote. But yeah.
Also easier, which was a big swing in it, really.
Yeah. So, do you want to do the next category, Zabby?
And next category is underrated player of the season for sort of players we think need to get a bit more recognition for the work they do. I think I went in a very sort of soldier heavy. I went for Flisco, Oronok, and Tech. I think they all do a lot of work. I think soldiers go kind of overlooked a lot of the time. And if I had to give it to anyone, I'd give it to Oronok because he's like one of the best soldiers in Europe. But he always plays with Deserto, is his main problem. So no one ever notices because they just lose. But he definitely needs a lot more credit for how good he is.
Cadus, what did you go for?
I honestly can't remember, actually. I really can't remember. What were we doing? Most underrated player?
You went for Tech and Oronok.
I think I went for Tech and Oronok, yeah. I think I indeed did. Only because I heard Bite slating Oronok so fucking often while he was shitting on us. It was like, holy shit, mate. He's clearly good. Just get over it.
I tried to vote for Oronok, but I wasn't allowed, obviously. I voted for Zebasai and Plapla. I think Zebasai and Plapla and somebody else. Was it Tech I voted for there? I think it was pretty sure it was it was another punchline player I voted after Zebasai. So and Zebasai and Plapla obviously. So yeah, that's what I went for. And kind of like Zebasai had such a good end of the season, and like I really underrated him until that point. Like, so as soon as that happened, I was like, actually, he's better than I thought he was. So
oh yeah, I should totally say that I wanted to vote for Zebasai, but I couldn't, obviously. But I definitely would have had I had the opportunity.
And Plapla really impressed me this season. Like, I never really thought of him as like Prem level scout, and he really, really impressed me this season. Obviously, there's so much of the punchline players did, so it's quite hard to pick from them of who I wanted to be put in this. So, and then Tech impressed as well. So those are who I went for the underrated.
Yeah,
do you want to go through?
I'll do a big deal. There was a lot of like basically Captain Hacks, Plapla, and K3 and Flippy all got 2 nominations and like narrowly missed out. Like they were all
and Flisco
and Flisco as well, of course. But the top 3 were Oronok, Zebasai, and Tech. All soldiers, all going to be up for voting on Monday.
Interesting to see the soldiers getting that like accolade. Maybe it means we'll actually have some decent soldiers in Europe. Oh wait, well maybe I'll take that back because we have had a few recently, haven't we? With Matanen being a boss, but Mike falling off a little bit. You know, maybe there's some players coming in to replace the MGE Mike.
No one can replace MG, Mike. Are you crazy? That'd be crazy, man. I think maybe it has something to do with the fact that so it's kind of harder to shine as a soldier because you're just a completely gimped class half of the fucking time. So you can be playing really fucking well and get like basically fuck all recognition for it just because your class isn't actually that good at TF2.
I think it's also like from a third, like because we had like people who play like we had like 8 Prem players was like the majority. They're the people who play with and against these players all the time, so they see a bit more than like the people who just watch like STVs and will only see like the big cleanups, the big frags, the big like 3-mans, 4-mans, whatever at the end, like cleanup frags, which will be most of the time will be like Stefan, Walters, Cookie.
Yes, yeah. So let's move on to the next one. Zavi, go for it.
The next one was Overrated Player of the Season, which was kind of funny just for the wide span of nominations that everyone gave out, just how much everyone dislikes, how much they think other people rate these people. I think I went for Dunk and Bite. I think that sounds about right. Just because they play on some of the top teams, but I think they make a lot of mistakes, and they're below everyone else on their team. But I think everyone kind of sees them as pretty good because they play for a top team. What do you think, Greg?
I'm pretty sure I went for Mike because he had a really poor season, like really poor from his standards.
It wasn't just the fact he had a poor season as well. It was the fact that like so many of like the fans, as it were, didn't seem to notice. Yeah, and we're still like, "Woo, it's Mike! Woohoo, MG Mike!" And it's like he's doing nothing. He's dying over and over and over again.
Yeah. I went for Dunk as well because just like I don't know how many people like rate him really highly, but it feels like he gets rated higher than he is, and like. Every time I've watched a game this season and I've seen him playing, it's kind of like face palming a bit. You know, he'd still do like 2k less healing than the enemy medic or something like that. It's just it's really, really strange. And then his classic, my dodging technique is brilliant as well. I just have to point that out where he dodges by not moving, like so you can just two-shot him.
It's because he gets into the thing is because I wasn't moving. Well, of course it was easy to hit me. You know, I wasn't even trying to dodge. But then it's kind of like what? It's just defending itself.
I voted for Rebelli for the last one just because I think he's slightly like overrated by people. I don't think played well since he's come into your team. Like when Quad was there, he was so much better, and like Rebelli kind of comes in, doesn't do very much as scout, dies and goes heavy, and it's just like oh god, not this again sort of thing. So that's kind of where I went. What about you, Cadis?
I did go for Mike. I think I can't actually remember how I actually voted for anyone, so maybe I would have gone for Dunk just because I had a tip off that someone had nominated him for Medic of the Season. What the fuck? I'm not sure if I actually did or if I'm just making that up or not.
He got 4. He was in 4th place, 4th best Medic of the season.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if I found that out before or after I voted for most overrated. If I'd known that before I voted most overrated, I definitely would have voted for Dunk. But I honestly didn't think anyone rated Dunk for him to be in this category.
You voted for Mike and Walters. I only know this because you were the last results I got at the bottom.
The Walters one is so difficult because he just shits on people every now and then, but like I find it so difficult to call him like an amazing scout because he just seems to do it like so hit and miss.
Yeah,
he's so good on his fucking day, but when he's not on his day, he's just like. Bleh.
Yeah, like I think I might have actually voted for Walters. Obviously, I did it a couple of days ago, so I can't remember. Yeah, my memory is good. Like he had such a poor season. Like he had a really good final, fair enough, but he didn't really have the best season in the world. Like, kind of felt like anybody could have been doing what he was doing. Like compared to the Walters of old that you'd just see come in and hit 6 meat shots and do 600 damage straight away and just change a fight, turn a fight on its head. Like so, that's kind of where I'm coming from in that respect. Is there anybody else you want to talk about here? Do you want to talk about who's been nominated? Do you want to go through everybody, Zavi? You know you want to, don't you?
No, I'm not gonna go through it. Like so many, like they'll be on Vanilla later. There were so many nominations, like such a wide variety of people. Lots of like, it was funny seeing who voted for who as well. Like the Epsilon player who nominated 3 Infused players as overrated, which was kind of funny. And that actually leads quite nicely onto who are the actual top 3. Narrowly missing out in joint 4th place was Walters and Tarkus. But the top 3 in this order are Mike, Dunk, and Fishu.
Again, Fishu. Did anyone who rated Fishu? Who's doing this?
All I can
I've got to
think
get on
is
F2
people...
side now. These are ridiculous nominations.
I was about to say the same thing. Somehow Tarkus made it into joint 4th. Like, who rates Tarkus?
Can people read the headings? It's not like who's a shit player. It's who's a shit player, but people don't realize it. Everyone knows Tarkus is bad. It's no secret, guys. Come on.
So yeah, so that's really, really surprising, to be honest, that 3 Infused players got into it from my point of view. Obviously, they didn't have a very good season, but whether it warrants all 3 of them getting in there, I don't know. But that means that we have 3 Infused players for you guys to pick from. So I think it's quite a laughable matter, really. It's what the awards are all about. Bit of fun. Me and Zavi had a laugh about it earlier. Right, do you want to go on to the next one? As
next
people are
is
trying to vote for Tarkus.
Carry of the season, which is basically the player who, like, it doesn't matter where the team finish really so much as more who drags the rest of their team up another level. I think I went for Retshock, Cadus, and Boomy. I think because I think Cadus sort of takes his team to the next level. Retshock like literally puts CC on his back all the time. The only one who ever really does anything else is Matnan. Like, he's literally dragged that team from bottom to 5th. And Boomy does so much work for Quarantine as well, like, with his experience. And he's just, like... I feel like Quarantine are, like, low Prem, really. And Boomy's sort of that top Prem, so he just takes them to that next level.
The thing with Boomy is that, like, if you look at the frags and the games that he's been playing in the season, obviously, like, you look at the PCWs, and everyone's fragging about evenly. And it comes to the official... And somehow Boomy is 10 fraggers ahead of everybody, and the rest of his team is not doing very much.
Somehow.
Somehow, yeah. No.
Somehow.
When I say he's 10 frags ahead of everyone, I mean everyone on his team, not everybody on the server. So he's not, like, full-on carrying to massive heights. He's just, like, his team are underperforming, and he's dragging them through them playing badly. Like, that's what it feels like from my point of view. So Josh was definitely one of my votes on that. I voted for Cookie because he's had an outstanding season. And I put Stefan in there just because you can't leave him off, really, from my point of view. Just really good. One thing I want to mention is that I find this really strange, what's the actual nominations. I'll talk about it a little bit later when we talk about, once we've decided, Cadus has done his and we talk about the top 3. Like, there are 2 people from a team in here, and somehow I would thought that if both of them are carrying that hard, they would have won the season. Like, so I don't think that's very warranted, but that's what people, our panelists decided. So, Cadus, do you want to go what yours are anyway, and we can talk about that in a sec?
Yeah, again, this is like a really difficult category because I went for Cookie like off the bat. Like, I thought he was like the shining star of his team this season. I don't think that will stay the same at all, just for the record. Like, I think Hat's just going to gel into that team and become the star of the team eventually, but he just isn't quite there yet. But the second one, I did eventually go for Matnan, but like you said, it was a bit of like a weird decision because there are 2 people on that team who could so easily have been called the biggest carry. So how can there be 2 people that are the biggest carry? But it's like, I kind of skimped on my nominations up to this point. This is one of like the lower down awards on the page, and I was like, shit. Like, I've only nominated like 1 or 2 people every fucking time. I have to write someone else. So I kind of ended up on Matnan, but it could so easily have been Retshock.
I think as well, it's always easier for a Demoman to carry, if you know what I mean. Like, and also, like, for example, like, I think Stefan got quite a lot of nominations on that award, but it's still kind of hard because no one in Epsilon stands out. Like, no one's dragging Epsilon down, if that makes sense. Like, you wouldn't call anyone out on Epsilon and say they're not doing their work. Whereas in someone like Crackplan, there are several players you can say these players need carrying to take them to Prem level.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Like, if there's no one there for you to carry... I don't think
I've ever said that to you before.
If there's no one for you to carry, how can you carry? Yeah, boom.
Yeah, dropping some knowledge there. Well, why don't you go through the top 3 for us, and then...
Yeah, the top 3 is not related to anything I just said, actually. The top 3 is Stefan, Cookie, and Numlocked.
And this is why I mentioned just a second ago about how both Cookie and Numlocked have got in there, and the team have come 3rd after, not winning a playoff game. I'm astounded by that. Yeah, it really astounds me. Like, are the rest of the team shocking? Is that
Joey C took a lot of carrying, man. I don't think you're underrated.
Dunk is also on that team.
I guess they had the 3 most overrated players, so maybe we could say
There
they've
you
got
go.
3 really bad players. So they needed Cookie and Numlock to both carry the ball. But wow, I just think that's ridiculous from a team of quality, the quality of Infused, really, for that to happen. But that's just my point of view on that. Do you want to go into the next category? Do you want to discuss that a little bit more?
I don't know, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, you can kind of see why people vote for like Stefan, Cookie, and Numlock. Like you can see why they'd be picked as carry players. You know, because like Numlock's main call, he does so much damage. Stefan
Some
and
people
Cookie.
literally just arrive and shit on the entire team every now and then. Like if you see someone do that, it's like holy shit, he's carrying. Even if he's not carrying the team the other 29 minutes of the game, you see that and it's like fuck, he's so good.
Oh my god, he just got a 4-man. Shit, this guy's amazing. Kind of, yeah. Like YouTube moments, the ones you always remember.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's. Craig, if you've got a point.
Oh no,
I
I
doubt
was
it.
just saying let's move on to the next thing. I was thinking about something else at the same time. Go.
Go. Okay, next award is Prem debut of the season, which, you know, can give a bit of recognition to those guys who maybe aren't quite the superstars yet, but are right in their way there. I think I went for Oronok, Tech, and I can't remember who else I went for. I'm going to say Captain Hacks. That sounds like the sort of guy I would vote for. Yeah, because I thought they all had like great debuts, and well, Oronok was going to drag down Dolly's team a lot, but especially like Tech and Captain Hacks. Like Punchline got so many nominations for this award because they all had such a good opening season, and it's just really impressive for people new to Prem to just make the step up instantly.
Yeah, indeed. And compared to the rest of the people that new to Prem, the only real person from my point of view, other than the Punchline guys that stood out, was Oronok. So I couldn't actually vote for him. So I gave a vote to GDK, I think, just so I could step away from Punchline. I don't actually remember. Like, either I gave 3 Punchline, which would have been Flippy, Pla Pla, and Tech, I think, or I dropped Flippy and voted for GDK, but I don't remember. So those are kind of what I thought, but I didn't really see much more out of the rest of the players to warrant getting any kind of nomination there. Cadis, what about you?
What is this?
Okay.
Most underrated? Sorry, best Prem
Prem
debuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Punchline. I know it's not the right answer, but it's Punchline. Everyone is Punchline. I think I did finally settle on Tech and Captain Hacks, just because there was always their soldiers kind of. When I'm in game, I kind of don't differentiate between one soldier and another soldier, or one scout and another scout. They're all just the same person to me, so I kind of just settled on the soldiers because I kind of felt like their scouts were completely overhyped compared to the soldiers, and their Demoman isn't very good. But so I just went for those 2, and then had to give the third to Oronok for the reasons above. Like he did really shine, I felt, for his team.
It's the 3 soldiers again in the Prem debut from you, Cadis.
Yeah. Also, just to interject, but Mix-Up have won that shitty little American Cup that we talked about earlier. So Mix-Up pretty much guaranteed to be coming to I-46. I know there's a lot of question marks over whether the funds are going to be raised, but there's over 3k in the pot already. Mix-Up are going to put quite a lot of their own money into it, I think. So I think you can pretty much count on Mix-Up being there. Don't know about LG, who obviously placed second, but yeah, I just finished just now, so I thought I'd add that in.
Yeah, well, be cool to see an American team, whether they get the funds for it. Mix up the team that probably have the most funds to interject themselves into it, or inject themselves even, and hopefully they can bring it to the amount of money they need to get there. I don't know though, so we'll have to wait and see. Really, obviously it's 5 weeks now till LAN, so they probably need even more money because the flights have probably gone up in price. But we'll have to wait and see. Really, we might as well keep going with our awards. So Xavi, we've only got a couple more, I think, don't we, Xavi?
Yeah.
4 more.
And
Go
a couple
for
of
it.
them we can just skim over. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we still on? Did we? I'll just announce who got in for
Yeah,
Prem
of
debut.
course.
I think we need to do a vote for this one as well. It's going to need you guys. Flippy and Tech were like miles ahead of everyone else, and they will be 2 of the nominees. And in joint third was Captain Hacks and Oronok. So Skyride, we're going to need a vote between Captain Hacks and Oronok.
Okay.
Captain Hacks and Oronok.
Yeah, and put
So
Captain
type-
Hacks as vote 1, Oronok as vote 2. Okay, Adam, is
And
that
vote
alright?
3 if you want to vote for Red Shock as Prem debut, just to confuse everyone.
Don't vote yet. It will not be
Don't
counted.
vote. Don't vote. Brilliant.
So vote 1 will be Captain Hacks if Adam writes it correctly. Vote 2 will be Oronok. hopefully everything's ready. I don't know whether Adam's got it ready or not.
Oh, here we go. Look at that. It wasn't in bold, but it still counts. Here we go. I'm seeing a lot of vote ones.
Of course, guys. I'm sorry. Vote 3 is vote for Ret Shock. Just Prem debut for Ret Shock.
Nice. Anything to get Cracklam or award for my fifth
so
place
vote 1 was Captain Hacks. Vote 2 was Oronok, and I'm going right there. Boom. There's my vote.
There's mine. I don't even know if I'm supposed to have a vote, but I'm having one. Fuck you all.
Breaking all the rules. We're going to do what we want. We don't conform to your laws. Well played to Siege for voting wrong. Story of your season, Skeege.
Yeah, it looks very, very even at the moment. I'm not 100% sure of what's going to happen. So, should we give it 15 seconds, guys? Time to get your votes in right now if you haven't voted.
I think everyone's done. I think we should call it. No one else is voting. Skeege is failing at voting again.
Okay,
let's
Adam, if you're ready, let's stop it now. And Crouton's voting for the British National Party. So yeah, hopefully we finish. Go Gamers just quit, so that means that the vote is over.
There goes our entire female audience. Fuck.
No, that's what the bot's called.
Why is the bot called gay?
I don't know.
Closest guy to get into a girlfriend.
So hopefully we'll have a result soon. Do you want to move on to the next one and we'll come back to it, or do you want to hang around?
That's what I'm hearing. Ret Shock won that.
Ret Shock 1. Ah, okay.
Ret Shock. Okay, where are we at? We're at up and coming player of the season, which was this was anyone who wasn't Prem, basically. So recognizing upcoming talent, and there was a wide array of votes for this one. Greg, do you want to start off with who you think?
Yeah. Okay. Well, my obvious vote straight away. I just wrote Stark down on the page straight away. Just I played with him in England. He's been playing amazingly. So, and I think a fair few people have seen him playing as well. So it kind of gets reflected in this. Because other than that, I hadn't really played with them before. The other people I went with are kind of players that I've played with and rated myself from playing with them or against them. But that's kind of how this works. And if if we haven't played with someone or don't know them, then I don't really know if they're going to be up and coming. But surely I should have heard of them from someone else and play with them at some point. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, this. Shout outs to Commander X for getting a nomination in this category somehow. Who the hell
couldn't vote for ourselves?
No, man. I got a legitimate one vote from an anonymous Frenchman.
Anonymous Frenchman. So that'll be one of the Punchline guys, which is probably Tech.
We're not allowed to reveal. We're not allowed to reveal. I have many.
Don't embarrass him, for the love of God. This will hang over him for the rest of his TF2 days.
Okay, so I went for Stark, Luzu, and I think Brago as my third. I think that's what I went with. Obviously, guys, basically what we did with this was voted for people not in Prem. Luzu and Brago played a mix in Prem for 1 or 2 games. Doesn't really count from that point of view. So yeah, I voted for them. And
playing at Deserto lineup at the end of the season does not count as Prem experience. We're not classing that. Yeah, that was a horrible debut.
What was that? Sorry.
The Deserto games at the end of the season where they played with a mixed team. That's not being counted as a Prem debut.
Oh right, yeah, of course. That was
because that would be a horrible debut. That's like when you get a debut. That's why you get a debut for your football team when you come on in the last 3 minutes of a match. It's like, yes, I made it, guys. I made the big leagues.
And then that's pretty much where my votes went with. I just want to point out while we're here, we've got the results in for the vote, and it seems like we're going to have both the Punchline soldiers in the Prem debut, was it? The last vote, as Captain Hacks beats out Oronok. So that means there's 3 Punchline players in Prem debut, which is kind of good from their point of view that they came 4th. So I think that's probably the best outcome, really. Cadis, you want to go up and coming now?
Yeah, I do. Hang on, I actually found my award sheet, so I can actually tell you what I said rather than just re-nominating again, possibly with different people. I went for Ponyon because I don't think he played the best he could have played in this season. I know him away from just watching his awful team getting kicked out of the league. and I think he's quite impressive when he's feeling comfortable. Also went for Stark, because someone's taking my Team England scout spot. It might as well be the up and coming player of the season.
So
And then I gave the third one to Luzu, just because every time I see him, he seems to just kill a lot of people, which is kind of what TF2 is about, is it not?
it's all
Correct me
about
if
the
I'm wrong.
frags, as Adam
Yeah.
always says. Yeah.
Shoot rockets. He seems to shoot rockets, and every now and then they kill someone. That's good
I
enough
hate
for me.
those soldiers you get who don't shoot rockets. They're awful. So embarrassing. Not even discovered that primary. Yeah, basically in these votes, the results were really spread out because obviously everyone has like their different group of people they play with. For example, like the German players have played with like more German up and comers, would vote for a lot of them. You know, same with all the different nationalities. The top three.
You haven't done your votes yet, Zavi. You went straight to me. Yeah.
Who did
Uh-oh.
I go for?
What's he hiding?
Oh,
He blatantly voted for himself, and this is why he's hiding it, isn't he?
Man, no, anonymous Frenchman. I voted for. I would have voted for Polkadon, but of course I'm not allowed. I voted for Luzu. I'm gonna think hard now. I voted for Stark as well. Stark seemed to be the no-brainer. I can't remember who my third vote was for. I genuinely can't remember. Probably someone who deserved it though, judging by how well I can remember.
Brilliant. So you ran your brain hard for that last final spot then.
Yeah, whatever. I can't I'm looking at the list of people who were nominated in total, and I don't remember. I only remember voting for Luzu and Stark. So, oh well. Might have been Brago, maybe not.
Sorry, I'm just looking at this now. Who voted for evil SpongeBob? Was that Numlocked? Please tell me that was. Oh
also,
my god.
Shout out to Ty for voting for Tavik, an up-and-coming player of the season, because he wasn't in Prem this season. Great work there. He's got a talent, that guy. Yeah.
Right.
The top three, yeah. The top three were Luzu, who's played in various sort of French teams, up-and-coming soldier. Quick, who played in Team ISIS, and Stark from Avenue. Stark stormed for votes by a mile as well.
Yeah, he did just storm it. So, yeah, that'll be up. Might as well keep moving on. We've taken quite a lot of time over this, Savvy, so there's a few more left. Two of them we can brush over, and one of them it's worth talking about for a bit so we can laugh. So,
should we just do a quick reveal for the next ones? I think the reason, the next awards, most surprising team is quite obvious. Punchline, everyone expected them to flop near the bottom, but they stormed into the playoffs. TCM, I think after everyone saw them come back from their break, they were really rusty, but they actually ended up, going all the way to second. Crack Clan as well, because after all their players left, they actually did really well with what everyone thought would be an awful roster. I think that sums it up.
Yeah, that sums it up. Go for the next one.
Yeah, most disappointing team, Infused, storming out winningness, the only thing they won this season. And mainly, basically, because they were rubbish in the playoffs. They played pretty well up to then, but they just flopped completely when Joey C came into and other roster changes came in. Crack Clan as well for most disappointing. I think that's mainly because their starting lineup with Longus, Bash, Pescanova looked like it was a title contender. Then they lost that and brought in 3 unproven players. It was a bit of a sad to see that roster go. And in joint third place, we have QN and Certo. I presume for kind of similar reasons, and that everyone thought they would do better and bottom placed joint.
Can I just interject here and say that I voted for Deserto, but I actually meant to vote for QN. I just had
do we not need his tie? Oh yeah, I remember you saying
I would like to change my vote because QN for me would horrendously disappointing. I think their roster had so much potential, and just because of their fucking bullshit they had with Nace not being there 1 in 2 weeks, every 1 in 2 weeks, and whatever the fuck his name was, Knudsen, just being a completely useless bell end. All that kind of stuff. I thought they were horrendously disappointing. I don't have a clue why I wrote Deserto, because I thought Deserto wouldn't do shit, and they did.
So Deserto dodge out of the award, meaning quarantine. Quarantine get the undisputed third place most disappointing team and will be eligible for voting on Monday.
Sorry guys, Cadus has just avoided any of your voting here, so you could have decided who would have been that third place. So blame Cadus for that. You all wanted to vote. And let's go for the last award, Zavi.
The last award is Worst Player of the Season, which is limited to Prem only, sort of. Unless I change,
Good.
I changed my mind because I was like, yeah, that seems justified. DJC's supposed to these votes in chat now, and DJC's votes was the guy who voted for a non-Prem guy. But yeah, basically everyone got one nomination, like we did for the best player, to make it a bit more elite. Cadus, who was your worst player of the season?
Begins with a dunk. It's dunk. It's fucking dunk all the goddamn way.
I think I voted for Tarkus because despite Tarkus maybe not being the worst gamer in Prem, he is the worst person I think I might have ever met. And every time I think, he's not that bad, he just comes up with something that makes me want to stab him a lot. Like, step on his children a lot. And it's just, I don't know how he does it. He's got a talent for it.
Yeah,
Greg,
so
cool.
I voted for the same way as Kalis. I voted for Dunk as well. So, boom. There's our votes. Pretty funny award, really, this one. Do you want to go through everybody that got a vote, Zabby?
Right, okay.
I know you want to.
As those of you might have seen, DJC voted for Buffalo Bill, and you can see his justification in his thing, and I can't argue with Buffalo Bill being the worst player in Prem. He was the worst player in everything, really, in my opinion. But I stick by the rules. People who also got, like, Fisher got one nomination, which I see as pretty fair. Had a pretty dire season, really, and he's now been, like, pretty short season as well. Flynn got one vote, which I guess is kind of, like, a bit opposite to the rest of his team, who are all getting, like, Prem nominations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely the like kind of worst person in that team. I'd have to say, like, unfortunately from his point of view, like maybe it's just the others all stepped up so much, and he kind of is still in that Div 1 mentality rather than the Prem sort of thing. Hopefully, he'll be able to step up next season. Have you gone through everybody now, Xavi, or just the bottom?
Wait, no, I'm just arguing in chat.
Okay.
The top three, these are the players who you'll be able to vote for and officially crown the worst Prem player in ETF2L Season 12. Joint second place, Skeege and Dunk. And in a storm with 2 votes, and storming first place with 4 votes is Tarkus. Tarkus going huge, as he wants everyone to always say. I can't argue with that.
Tarkus 2012. So
and it's a vote. I don't hate him personally. It's 4 out of 15 people think he's the worst player.
So how many votes did we actually get for this? Who didn't vote? Because some people haven't voted for worst player.
Yeah, a few people opted out of voting because they didn't want to call someone the worst player. Many other people wrote sorry in brackets afterwards, hoping that would somehow make it okay. There was also the the classic, are my votes going to get published? Because that will change who I'll vote for. That was great. So it's now anonymous, so you can vote for who you want without fear of invoking someone's wrath. That Fisher guy obviously would be really angry. Go on a killing spree or something. But yeah, and that's it for the ETF12 awards. I think they're all more or less right.
Yeah,
I find it hard to contest many of like the top threes.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty good the way we did it. Just about. Like obviously now it becomes the open to the public vote from the top 3 because we kind of wanted to let a viewer interaction into it as well, rather than just our point of views and the point of view of the rest of the Prem guys. So there'll be an award or a vote even on ETF2L tomorrow when I can get around to doing it. So yeah, do definitely check that out. And next week we'll have all the results for everybody. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I don't think so. Zabby?
I was just going to add that over the course of today's qualifier, almost $1,000 was raised for the fundraiser, which I thought was pretty good.
Wow, that's really good.
Considering how bad it was.
Yeah.
imagine how much there could have been, but yeah. I suppose a lot of people were waiting to see which team they were sending before they committed their money.
Yeah, I was really in the same boat. I'm waiting to see who goes. So, well, obviously it's now mixed up.
You're going to be donating
so I'm
now,
not going
Greg?
to be donating now. No, only if LG had gone, my money would have.
Why don't you just send Clockwork some money?
Oh yeah, because that would be helpful, wouldn't it?
It's at 10 o'clock. Buy yourself something nice.
Yeah.
That sums it up. The votes will be going live tomorrow or tonight, depending how keen Greg is. How keen are you going to be, Greg? Gonna be doing it as soon as we
Do
finish.
it tonight, Greg. Go on.
Go
Do what?
on.
Sorry.
Go on, Greg.
Setting up the
Vote 1
votes
if you
on
want Greg to do it
ECF2L.
tonight. Vote 2 if... I don't know.
If you want Greg to do it tomorrow morning. No votes. Good.
No
Good.
votes. So hang on.
It's
Vote
inconclusive.
2. There we go. Boom. Doing it
Oh
tomorrow.
no, 2-1. Cookie and Man have voted you. Yep, you've lost, Greg. You're doing it tonight. I think that's it then. Let's wrap this up. Any shout-outs before we go? Greg, Cadus?
Shout out to Mix Up for winning the I-46 tickets. It'd be awesome to see an American team there. I think the XTV guys probably need to raise more money before they can do this. So do keep donating if you have the extra cash, guys. It would be cool. Of course, do come to I-46. And we didn't talk about the ETF2 final, did we?
Oh yeah, that thing.
Good job, Xavi. Nice hosting.
It's not on my list.
While Evox just asked who's in Mix Up, Mix Up is now Platinum on Demo, TLR and Harblu on Soldiers, Pure on Medic, and then Enigma and Ruin on Scout. So it's kind of the all-star lineup of the Americans. And we should probably talk about the ETF12 final as we didn't, which did happen earlier this week.
I was kind of thinking, like, as I signed off there, like, this went really smoothly this week. This doesn't normally happen when I host. Oh yeah.
And we also missed something out as well because we had a bet about who was the best predictions.
I've not been following this at all though, and I'm pretty sure I lost, so I gave up caring.
So
Lost, I don't believe it.
Myself and Cadus actually got 6 points in our predictions awards. So and Xavi got.
Suck. I didn't even participate in half of them because I was playing.
So yeah, me and Cadus joint first. Boom, perfect. Yeah, well let's talk about the final anyway. Xavi, go for it. Start us off.
Right, let's go. Okay, I'll start off with the scores. It was 5-2 on Snake Quarter to Epsilon, 4-3 Golden Cap to TCM on Granary, and then a white 5-0 on Badlands to Epsi.
What happened, Cadus? What happened on that third map? Did you guys just something?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. We just got shit on. I don't think we won a single mid fight, and if we did, we fucked it up as soon as we won it. And once you lose a mid to Epsilon, it's really not very easy. Especially when I literally don't think we can bite up on any of them either. Like if you get wiped against Epsilon, it's really not very easy to do anything. So I think mid was basically where we really lost it. We got completely fucking destroyed. I don't really know how else to put it. I don't think either team played really well that day, but on Badlands, it really showed just how bad we were on the day. Like, because, I mean, we played Epsilon literally like a week ago, or 2 weeks before that, and I think we beat them on Golden Cap in the end, in the regular season. I think Walters definitely stepped it up, like, in that map particularly. But, I don't know, they stepped it up and we stepped it down, I guess, is the best way of putting it.
Yeah, like Walters definitely stepped it up for the final, and I kind of feel that that's the only reason that Epsilon won.
Like,
obviously, the rest of their players are doing well, but if he hadn't been playing like that, TCM would have won it.
Yeah, like if you were to ask me what I would do differently next time, I would just say I'd play it on a different day and hope for the best. I literally couldn't say what would be changed because we just got completely raped, basically.
Fair enough. Yeah, so congratulations to Epsilon. They win, a bunch of TT Esports gear, which they'll all sell. I'm sure TCM will do the same with whatever they've won, headsets or mice or something. I don't know what you've won. Mice, was it? Theron mice, something like that. Saphiron mice, or some stupid name. Yeah, out of the players and the teams, like Zebasai definitely stepped up for that game, but Walters stepped up even higher and like kind of carried his team through it. Obviously, the rest of the players all played, to the normal standard / higher than the normal standard, but those two players definitely stood out for me. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So congratulations to Epsilon for winning another ETF2L season with this team. Is that the second or the third? Do you know? Third? Second? I don't know. Something like that. Do you have anything to say, Xavi?
I say like a Greg speciality, bringing up facts and then not knowing the facts and hoping someone else does. hoping I happen to have the entire list of ETF2L season winners just open in the spare page. I do not. I have nothing else to add.
Okay, yeah, like it's worth going and watching the final, and thank you very much to all the viewers. I think from the point of view of VTV, because we had 1,600 viewers overall watching the finals, with about 1,000 being just for VTV, which is really, really good for an online tournament from a European point of view. I think there's only been a couple of days where it's gone more than that. Once when we were like on the front page of Twitch, and the other time being the free-to-play tournament we hosted, or was hosted by like Torden and those people. So yeah, thank you very much, and do try and keep viewing the games, guys. Like, more viewers is better.
Insight.
Anything else? Anything else? Fuck you, Zavi. Let's go.
Posse out.
What do you say? Pussy out.